Welcome to Market Pros, where we talk about everything markets and crypto. Remember, every Saturday we interview the top professionals in crypto, YouTube, the markets, economics, and more. Every morning we upload morning analysis, so stay tuned for everything. Okay, so I want to cover a little bit of macro first. We're here at Bitcoin on the monthly. So what I've noticed is every time, so these are the Bollinger Bands, every time the Bollinger Bands has went down to this, in between this level, and then came back up uh, all the way, and then, you know what I mean, like started to curl over to where it started to go flat. I mean, this one, not so much, but the point is still standing. Uh, every time that was a major low after an accumulation zone. As you see right here, right here, right here, and maybe, well, it seems like we're doing the same thing. Um, so what that tells me is that we might have bottomed already. Um, after this last huge dump. So I'll zoom up a little bit so you can see it better. Oh, we are on the logarithmic chart. So yeah, I mean, every time, that other one was about right here. Every time we've had huge upside moves, I mean, even this one, and then once it started to flatten out a little bit, kind of had that dump, but I mean, you could say that that's a black swan, I mean, here was the China band. Here was the, you know, cough dump. And then now after this, let's see here, 45% move down. I mean, it looks like we're starting to try to curl up again. Now, that doesn't mean we can't go a little lower. This could just be a big, big range, between 33 and 40, basically 46, 47. So, yeah, that's on the monthly. So I did want to cover that. Another thing that kind of coincides with it is the monthly stochastic. Every time we've been at this level, basically at the bottom, right into oversold, we've had huge upside moves every time. Here, and looks like we are doing it again. Same thing with the RSI. When we did touch the bearish control zone, you could still have down, but it kind of meant that you could be in an accumulation zone. So from here to here on the RSI, this time you did have a downside move. Okay, so it doesn't really tell you direction. This was the outlier, but right here, and looks like we could be doing it again. So that's the monthly. The next thing I want to cover is the weekly. And we're going to go to a different chart for this. So the weekly BBWP. Okay. So when we get to this lower level, it seems like we have huge moves. This move, BBWP, this whole move, all the way. This move, which it does not tell you direction. Okay, we had this huge move down, huge move up. I would count this one as the huge move down, and then another huge move down. It looks like we are coming back to that area. The only thing that I do not like is this MACD. Okay, we're still below the zero line, but if we can get a green bar above the zero line and cross this, cross the signal line bullish at the same time as, the monthly stochastic turning up, the along with the monthly Bollinger Bands, the weekly BBWP, you know, and RSI getting back into the neutral zone, that's going to be extremely bullish. So let's go back down. Let's go down to the daily. Okay, so RSI, let's see here. Let's move this. Okay, so your RSI, it looks like, okay, so we have no divergences, but remember, we still are making that ascending triangle. It's a little sloppy, but you get it. Okay, we are tapping the bearish control zone. We are below the signal line. Volatility is heading down as the price action's heading down. Actually, no. It's basically just saying that we're in a range. I mean, in between this purple zone and this purple zone is our range. So that's our more longer term range. This is our shorter term range. This would be a medium term range. This would be our shorter term range. Let's see. MACD on the daily are below the zero line. Our negative momentum is increasing. And we did get the retest. So that does not look very good. Basically what that's telling me is we could come back down to this area. My guess is that we could either we break the top of the or either we come up to the top of the range and then come back down and then head up, you know, to the top of the medium term range, or we just break down from here, head down to the bottom of this support line of the ascending triangle and then head up. Either way, I think the medium term is bullish. The short term could be bearish though. So pay attention to that. RSI on the daily, riding the bearish control zone below the signal line. Let's see if we have any. Okay, so no divergences. I mean, we did have bearish divergence from this area, but that move already played out, obviously. Let's go down to the 8-hour. So we're trying to test. We basically tested the bottom of this range. We're basically riding it right now, so we could come a bit lower. If we break the bottom of the range, remember, I think we're coming down to this support line of the ascending triangle. Riding the bearish control zone below the signal line, it looks like we could be entering it. Volatility is heading down. MACD still below the signal line, still below the zero line. And we are getting a dark red bar. Down to the 4-hour. So here's a little more clear cut of what we're dealing with here. We are in the bearish control zone after riding it, but we do have support here. If we break this support, I think we're going to head deeper into the bearish control zone, and we will break the bottom of the range. Volatility's low, so this next move is going to be pretty nice, whether it's to the downside or the upside. If it's to the upside, I think it leads us to the top of the range, possibly even break it. All these moving averages did cross bearish here, would have got you short along this. This is one of my strategies. Moving average, all crossing bearish or bullish at the same time. Moving averages have negative slopes besides for the 100. MACD, retest, bearish, below the zero line. Negative momentum is increasing. Let's go down to the bi-hourly. Okay, so we did break the bottom of, break down out of the bottom of this descending wedge. So I think we come down to the bottom of this range, period. That's my thoughts. BBWP is very low, so basically just telling us we're still in a range. MACD, fresh cross to the downside in your first red bar. RSI in the bearish control zone below the signal line. 1 hour. Could get a bounce here. deep in the bearish control zone. Volatility's heading up as the price action's heading down. MACD. Oh yeah, fresh cross to the downside at the 0 line. Negative momentum is increasing. We are fanning out from the signal line. It looks very bearish. So we could have a bounce, possibly, up to 38,663. But honestly, I think we're coming to the bottom of this range. I think we're going to break the bottom of this range. We could come all the way back up to this neutral middle line of the range, or maybe just the moving averages. My guess is that we would come up to about 39K region. But yeah, those are my thoughts. So basically, in a summary, I'm 70% bearish. We could be short-term bullish, but honestly, I think we're going to break the bottom of the range. I think we're going to come down to, okay, so it's not showing it. I think we're going to come down to the bottom of the support of the ascending triangle. Medium term, long term, macro, I am bullish. Short term, I am bearish. None of this is financial advice. None of this is financial advice. Just my opinions only. And those are my thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next one.